What we're going to do right now is to ask you to draw a graph when you know one point of the graph and you know the slope that's going through it. So there's our x-coordinate, there's our y-coordinate. So the strategy would be to plot this particular point, which is -2, -4. So we start here at 0, go over 2, and then down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you put a dot. So that is this point here. Now, as you look at this, you see we have a slope of a -1/3. And we had said that slope was a ratio of y units over x units. And since it's negative, what we would do is start with our x-coordinate and go in a negative direction. So from this point, 1, 2, 3. And now our rise, or y unit, is 1. So we go up 1 unit. So to draw our graph then, from this point, it will look something like so. So there is the graph, but you might wonder, what is the equation of that line? So for this, you would need to write the formula y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1, and then substitute. And we'll do that live. So our slope is a -1/3. We'll do our x first. Our x is a -2. So when you are putting a -2 into this formula, it's the opposite of a -2, so this becomes a +2. And the same applies here. Y plus the opposite of a -4 makes it a +4. And if we wanted this in slope-intercept form, we would just multiply through. Or you might recall that sometimes we want to get rid of the fraction if we were to put it in standard form. And there you would multiply everything by your common denominator here of 3. This is one term, and all this is one term. So here the 3's are going to cancel out. So we then get 3y plus 12. Now here they cancel out, but we need to clear parentheses. So this is a -1 times x is a -x. This is a -1 times a +2, which will be a -2. And then putting this in standard form, we just bring our x term over to the other side, where it becomes a +x plus 3y. I'm going to take my +12 to the other side, where it becomes a -12, and this becomes a -14. So there is my standard form. Now if I wanted to put that in slope-intercept form, I would take the x, bring it back over to the other side, so I have here 3y minus x now, and then this is a -14. And then to get y by itself, I divide everything by 3. Y equals a negative 1/3 x and a negative 14/3. And you might say, what is a negative 14/3? Well, that's a negative 4 and 2/3. And since that is my y-intercept, notice it is right there. So again, some background on things you may be doing in chapter 3, where you have a single point and you have the slope, and they want you to graph it. Well, graph the point, then from that point, graph the slope. If it's negative, it's going to go to the left and then up. If it's positive, we'd go to the right and then up. And then we put it in our point-slope form, got it to standard form, and then converted standard form into slope-intercept form. Okay.